Extinction and Rebellion have three general demands that anybody can sign up to. So the first is about declaring a climate and ecological emergency, and in the process of doing that is all about telling the truth of just how much of a crisis we are really in. The second one is about halting biodiversity loss and reducing greenhouse gases to net zero emission by 2025. And the third one is about governments creating a citizens' assembly on climate change and ecological justice, and governments being led by the decisions made by that citizens' assembly.
Extinction Rebellion is really keen that everybody has a voice in decisions that are made affecting them. And so it's looking into participatory democracy, the way you can organise meetings and get-togethers in such a way that everybody gets the confidence to speak and also the space to speak, so that we can come to a decision together. So with that in mind, there are two forms of assembly that it's particularly promoting. The first are people's assemblies. A people's assembly is any gathering of people getting together to talk about whatever question they want to. The idea is that the process that's used in that event, where the people get together, is a participatory one. Everybody's voice is equally important, and the person who's running that meeting needs to make sure that that's part of what happens in the meeting. So a citizens' assembly is a more formal process. A group of citizens come together to answer a question. And they're chosen for two things. One is that they're random, they're not a group of friends of the government, but at the same time they need to be representative of the society. So then all the different groups in society need to be there in the right kind of proportions. And they're asked a question and they're given the resource and time to answer it properly.
It's really important for us to get our heads around the idea of exactly what a representative group of the population might actually look like, because so often the groups of people that collate together in a people's assembly are not at all representative of the Welsh population. Wales has already held a people's assembly. It happened this July, was held in Newtown, and brought 50 people together to discuss how people can participate more fully in the Welsh Assembly democracy. Only 60% voted in the 2016 Welsh Assembly elections. 75% have no degrees and 25% have no qualifications at all. So you can see that this group of people is very different from the sort of groups that normally participate in political discussions.
So they're given access to experts. They'll go into small groups, into pairs. They'll talk about it in a way that enables them all to think creatively, and they'll come up with recommendations that answer the question. And it's important that the facilitation, that the thing is run independently, so it's not just answering the question in the way the government wants. And the government, whichever level it is, have the obligation to take seriously the answers, to be answerable about what they do in response to the information that they got out of the group.
It's been evident for the last 30 years that the existing government processes have failed to take seriously the warnings of scientists. The focus of decision-making is all about re-election after 5 years, and short-termism isn't about the needs of the future generation of our planet. The whole process of lobbying means politicians are unable to create the independent and bold changes that are going to be needed. Government decision-making is made on the basis of opinion polls, which are quite different from citizens' assemblies, where a representative group of people think carefully about decisions, having been given unbiased information.
Democracy needs revitalising in a way. People feel quite separate from the way that decisions are made, and I think the climate change issue is such a serious one, and it's quite interesting to use it as a way of people getting more involved in government.
Both people's and citizens' assemblies are a way in which people can get directly involved in the democracy in our country. But particularly citizens' assemblies are a way in which ordinary people can influence policy in Wales for the long-term benefit of future generations here.